Hey guys, it's Jamie. Welcome back. So basically today I wanted to talk about um Euphoria, and I think I have talked about a bit in the past. I really enjoyed the series. I really enjoyed Zendaya's performance. I really enjoyed Hunter Schaffer's performance, and to me, they were the main showstoppers. And while watching it, I ended up asking myself, well, why isn't the lesbian community or woman attracted to woman talking about this? Because obviously they're the show's main couple. Well, at least in the first two seasons. I don't know what's gonna happen later, but in general, it felt very off to me. And I don't know if you've watched my videos, but in general, I do sometimes feel uncomfortable, like a lot of trans guys do, where women seem to feel like there's allies in us for some reason, in trans guys, instead of trans women. So this is like the age-old thing where, which can go back to Mitch Fest or whatever, where people think that, or women think, cis women specifically, think that because someone was born a woman, they went through the female experience. But in reality is, what is the female experience for a trans guy if you identify as a guy and you've been fighting to be a guy for your entire life? Like, in my case, again, I felt that I was a guy from a very, very young age, and even before I knew how to speak and etc., my mom wanted to pierce my ears as a way to show the world that I was not a guy, that I was a girl. And for some reason, after I remember that, I stopped really wearing earrings. So maybe it's connected, but anyway. So I caught myself kind of looping all of that and thinking, well, it's not like it's the first time ever I've seen the woman loving woman community deny trans women. Like, we've got TERFs, we've got a bunch of different people who just outright are transphobic. I mean, look at J.K. Rowling. She is not. I don't know what her sexuality is. I'm guessing it's straight, but I really don't know. But she has made enough violence from her speech up to the point that all the ripples go, like for instance the recent laws in Florida, where you can't even dye your hair to match your gender or etc. if you're trans. So it's getting to levels of ridiculousness there, of really, really transphobic ridiculousness. And that's why I feel even more angry that a lot of people think that it's okay to support JK through merch, movies, and etc. If you are going to the movies and you think that's a-okay, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry, at this point, there is no excuse. Anyway, so I wanted to keep talking about this. And it feels really uncomfortable. Like, you watch, obviously, Euphoria, it's a very great TV show. Sure, it's not the most deepest TV show ever. It's not like Twin Peaks or anything. But I really enjoyed it. It was very, very entertaining. It was very interesting. There's obviously a lot of opinions, who liked who should be with whom, but I haven't seen them from the lesbian community. And I was like, that's really weird, because I do like LGBT stuff in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be just gay men for me to watch it. So I felt like, well, why aren't the lesbians celebrating this? On the opposite, you have an amazing trans representative and a great character. Jules, played by Hunter Schaffer, and Zendaya plays an amazing character as well, with Rue, and they both explore their sexuality. Like, well, we don't know what their sexualities really are because they're still exploring and etc. But their story is, and their love line is very profound and it's fascinating. And I was rooting until the very end of the season, and I'm still like, maybe something's gonna happen. Because it was so interesting. And in general, I spoke about this previously, but it was interesting to see Jules wear like a binder or think about quitting certain hormones in order not to be as feminine as society expects her to be. And that is also an interesting discussion. And I feel like, in general, like this past week and so, I've seen a bunch of threads where people have been complaining that women go up to trans men to complain about men, and obviously everyone feels that it's invalidating. Personally, I don't engage in such things. I'm quite quick to cut it off, and in general, if someone has a sort of like vibe about it, I feel very, very uncomfortable talking to them because I do not have a comfortable coexistence with certain people. And I do feel like I obviously I studied feminism and sociology, where my sociology teacher was hella transphobic, like way back in when I was in the UK. Not my first one, my second one. My first one was really great, but then I got a very transphobic one, which I wasn't getting along with at all. And I truly wish her the worst because she kind of screwed me up for a bit. So, anyway. So, I wanted to say that it's really weird that, because it just doesn't make sense. This is a trans woman. She has the experience. She gets shoehorned into something that she's not in the childhood, or in general, she has to overcome the same obstacles as any woman does, which is like, how is your expression, your sexuality, everything about it. So obviously it's a more, an experience of a woman is an experience of a woman. I didn't have any female experience. I was just a guy. I grew up, I'm a guy, I'm bold. I don't know what else there is to say. So it does feel very uncomfortable. And I feel like the fact that no one from the lesbian community, again, from what I saw, spoke about Euphoria being a great representation, or a bad one, for all I care. Maybe there's obviously some lesbian aspects that they saw that weren't that great, but I didn't see that discussion. I saw mainly trans people discussing Euphoria, straight people, mostly trans, discussing about the experience. And even when it came to trans women, I didn't see that many trans women talking about it. So I felt like it was a bit under-discussed, I guess. And it did leave me a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, well, you have this amazing piece of, well, TV show, which talks about women interested in women. It also sheds light on relationships between a cis woman and a trans woman. So it's like, why is this not being celebrated? And I feel like, and this isn't a situation like where we just have negative experience at this point, you know? Because like back in the day, I remember, for instance, because I'm a fossil, I'm gonna throw out some facts here. But like, for instance, there's this movie called Cruising with Al Pacino, and the gay community was really against it to be, like shown, to be filmed. They really wanted to stop, and it's a great movie. I really love Cruising. And obviously it was portrayed, the gay community was factually portrayed in not the best light. And it was back when there wasn't much representation, so I feel like it was a great movie, but obviously, because there wasn't a lot of representation, people were angry that this is the representation they're gonna get, gay murders. So I feel like in this case, there are a lot of good like lesbian movies, lesbian TV shows. I understand this is not for me to say, but there still are being made great lesbian movies. And when you go to transwoman representation, I think Euphoria really nailed it down and made a very compelling story and made it very interesting. Because right now, I was also reading another article that we are getting oversaturated with those coming of age stories, like fuck, what's that shit called? Love Simon, Love Victor, which follow the same module of like skinny twinks falling in love in high school or whatever. And personally, I didn't even watch Love Simon. I was just like, yeah, that's a bit too much for me. Because I enjoy stories where there's more interesting things going on. Rather than, I do enjoy coming of age stories, but I enjoy when there's substance. I felt like Love Simon had none. And maybe I was just the wrong age category at that point, because, well, when I was trying to look for like gay representation, etc., to me Weekend was the big like opener when it came to representation, and I still enjoy Weekend the movie, and I am gutted that Looking got cancelled. And I do wish we'd get more from Andrew High, because he's an amazing director. So yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. But there's not even much more to add. Cis lesbians have been dicks to trans women for ages, and they always try to push trans men into their community when in reality we don't want to be there. And there was also this TikTok going around a few days, well, not a few days ago, about a few weeks, saying that trans men can be lesbians, and that's not how it works. And I guess I do understand that I am not attracted to women, so maybe I go from my own gay perspective. But it does feel very uncomfortable, and the time when I did experiment with women, I felt very invalidated as hell. And I feel like when it comes to being with other men, because it's a gay relationship, and it's already in the LGBT community, there's more understanding, which is really weird. Why don't trans women have the same with cis women? So yeah, and in general, men have been demonized for quite a while these days, and you've obviously got the hashtag girl boss and everything, and that's all great, and feminism is all great until it's transphobic. But people really seem to just not care about trans women. It's as simple as that. And I thought I'd have more points, but the thing is, it's just transphobia. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you watch this video and you're very angry because how dare I speak on the fact that women, and in general I do feel like women are a lot more transphobic than men from my experience. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please give a like, please subscribe, please share so we can make my channel grow. Maybe someday I'll get monetized for calling out people transphobes. Calling out people and not transphobes. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and again, the point of this video is that women have a massive problem with trans women, and I would really wish they would leave trans men alone when they want to discuss things. And women should talk to women, really, and not equate trans men to women and trans women to men, because that is not the case. Thank you very much.